Well, we've made it to Friday, October 4th, and I have begun removing the battens from the bottom frame of the bottom framework. The owner was here yesterday, and his conclusion was, let's reuse those battens. Here's why we can't. First of all, quite a few of them are broken. We might, in fact, be able to use some of these up front. But here's where economics, in some sense, gets in the way of preservation, and it'll be up to the owner. The problem with old structural members is that they have been assaulted by grease and grime and oils for all their lives. And this is a 1946 boat. So we're talking, what is that, 54, 64, 67 years old. And particularly when we get back here in the transom, you can see that on both sides, the battens are just totally soaked through with oil. It's bad enough that it has actually eaten into the beveled inner ends of them where they meet the keel. So my advice in this case is that since the bottom will be fastened to these battens, and therefore the battens are essentially along with the frame members, are the cornerstone of the strength of the bottom of the boat as it slams across the water. The batten should be well fastened. And the problem is, if we look at this one, even when we get it in place, we're going to have great difficulty attaching it securely on the inboard end. And even if we do, the time it would take us to degrease these 3/8 sticks of wood to the point where they would actually hold paint, never mind hold 3M 5200, would be probably 2 or 3 times the cost and the time necessary to simply replace them. Of everyone who's involved in wooden boats is that the bottoms really need to be replaced at some intervals. As far as I can tell, this bottom has never been replaced. This is the first time this boat's been apart since it left the factory. We can find no evidence of any aftermarket downstream wood in the structure of this boat. The planking was all original. All these frame members are original. The battens are original. And it's time to replace the battens. They are, as you can see in this one, many of them are split. At least a third of them are broken in two at the bilge stringer. I mean, that would just be a fool's errand to try to reuse this stick. They're split longitudinally. They're frayed at the ends. They're totally soaked in grease, through and through. So I'll be making a call this evening and making a best effort to convince Wes that these battens really, it's time. They should be replaced. The boat will be better for it. The next owner after Wes will appreciate that this is done. Back to you next week.